Okay, let's talk about the grammar of love, specifically in ancient Greece, because language is philosophical and the words we use shape the way we think. There are many words for different kinds of love in ancient Greek, but I'm going to talk about three today: phileo, agapao, and the most interesting one, erao. In classical Greek, phileo and erao are the ones most commonly used. Agapao is used occasionally as kind of a general word for love and then becomes much more important and oft used in New Testament Greek. And now in modern Greek, it is the main word used for love as kind of an umbrella term, sort of like the word love in English. But back to classical Greek, phileo is a very wide-reaching word that means love of friends, love of hobbies, the tendency to do things, general feelings of affection, sometimes for parents, children, anyone who is dear to you. Sometimes romantic, though that's not its primary use. And its object is always in the accusative case. Accusative is the direct object case in Greek. So like, I love my friend. If love is phileo, friend would take the accusative. But when we get into erao, the word from which eros, the god, and erotic are derived, which means romantic love or desire, the object of love with this verb always takes the genitive case. I made a whole video about the genitive case, about how genitive is the case of origin, the case of possession, the case of the point from which motion outward begins. This is where we can get really deep into the philosophy of language, because there's another use case of the genitive called the partitive genitive. We don't have this in English, but it does exist in French. So if you've ever learned French, you know that if you wanted to say, like, I eat some bread, to express that you only ate part of the bread and not all of the bread, you would say, je mange du pain. I eat of the bread, literally. And Greek has this as well. One of the uses of the genitive case is, I took some of something. And so if we go back to the example of romantic love and desire, and we hypothesize that perhaps the genitive there is partitive genitive, is the Greek language making the case that you can only desire part of something? There is something to romantic love where you can't possess someone entirely? This is quite a Platonic idea as well, because Plato, in his discussion of eros, makes the point that desire is only for what you do not already have, because once you have something, you don't desire it anymore. In the case of romantic love, are we to come away with the idea that if we ever fully have another person, our desire for them is gone? Our love for them cannot exist in that situation? Of course, it's totally possible that some words just take their object in different cases and there's nothing more interesting behind it, but I like to think that there is. But either way, let me know your take on the philosophy of language and of love and its objects in the comments.